Hello， 各位旧金山湾区的观众朋友们，大家好，我是王博森。您现在所收看的是北美红星卫视 TVHS 1.9台。
您现在收看的是北美红星卫视 TVHS 1.9台。
奇妙的人生，奇妙的命运，让我们一起找到生命的意义，揭开灵魂的秘密。欢迎收看今天的《命运真奇妙》，我是克拉拉。今天在我们节目当中呢，我们再度为您邀请到了曾经在我们节目当中介绍Chi Mac 风水的 Steven Kwong， 他今天又再度的来到我们节目，今天要教我们很多实用的风水的技巧哦。我们现在就欢迎 Steven。Hello Steven。Hello,
Clara. Thanks for inviting me back for another session, an interview.
Yeah, I know. People are really enjoyed the show, last time. Yeah, that's the reason, I want you to really, this time, please teach us how to really decorate our house, in the universal way, by using the universal tool or knowledge.
Okay, well, there are certain things which everyone can do, regardless of their birth year, their gender, and what their floor plans are. But the more important changes are based upon an assessment of where the imbalance is in the person's house. Because we have to look at the quality of qi, the quality of oxygen, the movement of the qi based upon yin-yang principles, the balance of the 5 elements, whether they're out of balance in a certain room, and whether the compass direction for the person based upon their birth year is in harmony with where they're sitting and the design of their of the furniture in their room. So that deeper investigation and analysis of a person's life will be much more powerful than universal remedies. But one of the universal remedies, which everyone can follow, is get rid of the clutter. And so most on the popular books in feng shui, you'll see this as one of the main things. Get rid of junk which you don't use or which you haven't looked at for the past 6 months. And if you do that, that's the beginning of the potential to feel what else needs to be done. Because if there's junk everywhere, piles of magazines, newspapers, knickknacks, things which you don't use, and then it's going to interfere with the assessment of what else needs to be changed at a more profound level.
That's very useful. So first, no matter feng shui or not, clean your house first. Get rid of all the clutter first.
Yes, and especially if we're going to do some kind of geopathic work to clear the earth energies from underground streams, burial sites, ley lines, and things like that, we can't really determine where the worst spots are in the house and where the underground stress is until the space in the house is clean and cleared. So it's a very essential preliminary first step. But for the living room, it's quite often beneficial to have a water fountain of some kind near the front door where the energy of qi, which comes through the front door or the main window in the house, is coming by the fountain, and the flow of water from the fountain is physically pushing the qi from outside into the center of the room or toward the center of the house. So the placement of a water fountain and the design is quite essential for enhancing prosperity and having healthy qi in the living room.
Oh, so you mean that the fountain should be placed close to the front door?
Yes, and it's better if the flow of water is directional. The water is flowing in a certain direction, so you can aim the fountain so that the water is flowing toward the center of the house. There are many fountains which have a spout and the water is just dripping down from a bamboo spout, or you have these sheet metal fountains where the energies of the water is just coming straight down to a small pool. Those types of fountains aren't as effective in moving energy or generating a stronger qi field. So the selection of the design and the placement are both essential for having benefits from this kind of feng shui remedy.
So how does that fountain will affect us?
Well, there's a branch of feng shui called the study of the water dragon, and this is considered the most powerful technique and knowledge to enhance prosperity. So where the water is outside your house, which direction it's flowing from, where it's flowing to, whether it collects into a pool close to your house, what side of the house where it is, and also the same principles of the water dragon apply to the placement of water features inside a house. So it's a very intricate technical study, and you really have to know it well to really get the most benefit.
So I have a question here. Just in case, someone's living room is kind of cold enough, because I know, water is kind of cold too. So kind of the yin energy, right?
Yes.
So do we still have to put the water fountain, in the living room?
If the room is generally cold and damp, then it's not a good idea to put a fountain or a water feature inside.
So that's the exception, right?
But you could have something which represents water, like a poster or a photograph of a waterfall, or a lake or the ocean, and that symbol will substitute for the presence of actual physical water. And you'll have much of the benefit of having a water fountain without the coldness of having physical water moving in a cold part of the house.
So even the poster will help, will kind of replace a real fountain, right?
Yes, so a poster or a photograph of an actual waterfall can be almost as effective as having physical water in the house.
Cool. So after we talk about this yin energy, I want to talk about the yang energy, which is kitchen.
Yes.
Okay. Kitchen is a yang energy, am I right?
Yes.
Cool, okay. So for the kitchen, is there anything we have to really pay attention to when we choose to remodel our house?
If you're looking for a house or you're remodeling, it's very important not to have the kitchen located near the center of the house.
Oh, okay.
Because that part of the house should be kept clear of fire and water features and anything else like that. It's also important to have the stove or the cutting area in a place where you are facing a good direction based upon your birth year. And it's also important to have a balance of the 5 elements: earth, water, fire, wood, and metal, based upon your personal gua and what else is present as far as appliances, as far as plants, and as far as furnishings for the kitchen. So a more in-depth study is required for each person to really help a person to enjoy cooking more or spending more time in the kitchen.
That's what I really need.
Yes. So the best answer is looking at the balance of the 5 elements, the flow of energy with yin and yang, and the best compass directions for the person are the key factors for determining how to remodel your kitchen or move things around to make it a more comfortable place to work.
But there are usually more than one family member in the family, so how can we decide which one's birth chart to use to apply, for example, kitchen area?
So very often the directions for one family member are different from the best directions for the other family member.
Yeah, that's
husband
right.
and wife, or brother and sister,
Yes.
or for a child. So in cases like that, we choose good directions for a room for the person who spends the most time there, or the most important person from the point of view of the family. And then for another room where a different family member spends more time, we'll arrange the furniture and the sitting position so it's more favorable for that family member. So at least one room will be very, very good for each family member.
So is that possible, for example, living room and the kitchen are both for the female member of this family, according to the female member's birth chart? No.
Yes, and then let's say there's a home office, and the main breadwinner for the company spends a lot of time in the home office. So then the sitting position and the directions and the choice of room should be chosen for this person.
Okay, sure. And we're gonna take a break first.
Okay.
所以我们现在呢要先休息一下，我们等一下还会再跟 Stephen 再多聊一聊其他这个家里面其他的个风水要注意的事项。广告之后还有更精彩的节目。
拥有14年品牌的一膳房是美国首创以指导妇女月子调理、温馨养胎、经期调理以及妇科手术恢复调理的专业健康机构。传统药膳医学、现代健康饮食的一膳房位于 Mountain View， 拥有中央厨房自动包装系统，每日新鲜烹调、专车配送，服务湾区。一膳房咨询订餐电话650-938-5888，650-938-5888。中诚地产服务湾区10多年 ，William Chen Joyce 郭有最好的地产及贷款服务，最具买房卖屋的丰富经验，最了解湾区的市场需求。William Chen Joyce 郭以忠诚的服务态度，能在最短的时间内为您争取到最好的价钱，让您买房卖屋都安心，为您免费提供房屋估价及市场分析。详情请致电408-409-5688，408-409-5688。欢迎您有兴趣的人士加入我们的优秀团队。
烹气食品，湾区共有11家分店，面包每天新鲜出炉，让您吃得安心，吃得健康。全日各式糕饼与蛋糕，美味可口，是您全家人健康的首选。11家分店遍布湾区，湾区美味尽在生技。
回到命运真奇妙节目，现在我们要跟 Stephen 再多谈一谈家里的这个风水的这个摆饰。Okay, so now we are going to talk about bathroom. Anything we have to pay attention when decorating our bathroom?
Well, one of the most fundamental things about the bathroom is keeping it clean. And when I do house visits for a feng shui consultation, I'm always surprised that so many families or individuals don't keep their bathroom physically clean and odor-free. That's the first thing which you should do, especially if the bathroom is located close to a bedroom with no doors or walls, or it's close to the front door of the house.
Or no windows.
Or no windows. It's considered very undesirable to have or use a bathroom near the front door or in a bedroom where there's no wall or door to seal the air. But unfortunately, most buildings and apartments in the West were not designed with the help of a feng shui consultant.
Yes, that's
so
right.
Architects just put the bathrooms where they were convenient from their point of view, and they don't consider the health and the energetic ramifications. So keeping the door closed at all times, keeping the toilet lid down, having living plants and potted plants in the bathroom, every other room in the house will help to reduce the odors, because plants to a certain extent will absorb odors.
So what kind of plants do you suggest?
Well, the best plants are plants that can tolerate the light and temperature of a certain room. Some plants need more light, others need less light. Also, it's very important that we don't keep cactus plants inside.
I was going to ask that. Can we put a cactus?
Plants with needles, with thorns, with spiky leaves, or with blade or knife-shaped blades. These kind of leaves generate what's called sha qi, or negative energy, and if you sit next to this type of plant for any period of time, your energy gets drained slightly. And most people won't notice this, but if you replace this plant with round, succulent leaves or fragrant flowers, you'll notice a world of difference in your energy level, your alertness, your creativity. So the choice of plants is very, very important. Also, many people have allergies to certain types of common house plants, especially philodendron or certain ferns.
Yes.
So you have to test energetically by dowsing or muscle testing or some other way to determine whether a specific plant is beneficial for you.
And I heard that, I could be wrong, but the plants with bigger leaves is better for feng shui. Is that true?
Yes, so the jade plant, the money plant, the lucky bamboo plants, the things you see in the Chinese grocery stores in general have good feng shui. But there are many other types of plants also which can be beneficial for indoor or outdoor use. So if you love cactus and thorny or spiky plants, have them in the backyard next to a fence, but not indoor or close to the front entrance of your house.
That's right.
Because something sharp and thorny represents protection. The plant is defending itself, and if you have it in the front of the house, the message is people are considered dangerous, and the plant is placed there to protect the house from these dangerous people.
Yeah,
that's somewhat implied when you have cactus and those types of plants in front.
Okay, so now we are moving to the next room, which is a very important room, the bedroom. Yeah.
The bedroom should be quiet. It should be as dark as possible in the evening. The headboard, the head of the bed, should be placed against a solid wall and never against a window, and never in the walking pathway as you enter the room. So there are certain rules which are universal. Put the headboard against a solid wall and away from windows and away from closets. And also, when you sleep, you should not be able to see your reflection in a mirror. So if you must have a mirror in your bedroom, place it in an area where you have to get up and walk to see yourself and not see yourself from lying in bed.
So what if the mirror is like behind you when you sleep?
That's considered undesirable as well.
Oh, okay. So how do we do it? You know, how do we avoid?
Well, you can move the mirror to a different wall, or you can cover it with a cloth if you can't really move it somewhere. Because many people have smaller bedrooms and not many options as to where to hang the mirror.
So what if you have most people, you know, they have the bathroom in their bedroom. So is there anything we have to pay attention to?
Well, with many houses and apartments, the bathroom is a part of the master bedroom,
yes.
and there's no separating wall or door which closes completely. Then you have a problem with odors, with mildew, with mold, with bacteria, and everything else that goes on in the bathroom. So keep it as clean as possible, keep it dry, air things out, open the doors and all the windows if at all possible, so everything will dry as quickly as possible. And that's the best you can do. So unless you want to remodel or move to a different house, you have to adapt and combine what's practical with what's ideal according to feng shui principles.
So in order to create a better relationship, so is there anything we can do in the bedroom?
Yes, the design of the headboard affects people's consciousness quite a bit. So the headboard should be solid, and there should be no design or marking which indicates one half of the bed belongs to one person and the other half belongs to the other person. It should be one solid piece of wood or cloth or whatever material it is. Also, it's not good to have two separate small mattresses side by side. If necessary, you can have smaller box springs, but then the main mattress should be one complete mattress and not two smaller ones side by side, because that separation of two different mattresses will also indicate some kind of separation between people.
I even heard that they say that you don't put any pictures that was only like one person in there or someone's crying in the bedroom.
Yes,
Is that right?
I've visited many houses of single women, and they tell me they're looking for a relationship. And when I walk through their house for the first time, I notice there's no pictures of happy couples or of group photos of family. And in fact, if there are photos, they're photographs of them by themselves or other single women. So imagery and symbolism is very, very important because it affects our consciousness at a very deep level. So having pictures or paintings or photographs or posters of birds or animals who mate for life.
Not like tigers or...
Yeah, well, they're fighting. They mate and then they fight, and they might even kill their young.
Oh my God.
So animals who mate for life and who are loyal to each other are good symbols. And then pictures of you and your partner during happy times is also a way to remind yourself that there's a basis for being together.
That's why all the couples make sure your wedding photos still in your bedroom, you know, look at each other, you know, every day, look at the picture, so your relationship will be happy forever and ever, right?
Yes, you can set aside a corner of your bedroom as a place to focus on happy relationships. So you can have a heart-shaped stone placed there. You can have flowers. You can have pictures of yourself when you were young and happy, marriage photographs, things like that. Anything which reminds you of happiness, unity, and companionship and love can reinforce that when it's placed in the bedroom.
Yeah, I feel that really actually affect our subconscious level to a very deeper level, so that we can have a really good relationship. OK， 所以我们现在要先休息一下广告，之后呢，我们会再跟这个Steven 再多讨论一些这个风水的一些实用的装饰的方法。广告之后还有更精彩节目。
天灾人祸不可预测，千金难买早知道。你有保够了吗？
我是 Farmers 保险经纪 Emily 刘。坐在电视机前面的您，是否考虑过您现在的保险金额真的够保护您心爱的家人与您努力赚来的资产吗？让我用多年的保险经验与知识，为您提供3省服务，让您在保险上面可以省钱、省时跟省麻烦。请今天就致电510-366-2657 510-366-2657。
优必胜全新第2代合家欢高画质卡拉 OK 机震撼上市了！合家欢 BM2000内建 2TB 硬碟，有32000多首歌曲，80%的原声原影歌曲，高画质1080的歌曲画面，以及 HDMI 的高清输出，给您唱得过瘾又开心。合家欢高画质卡拉 OK 伴唱机，让您听歌、学歌、飙歌都开心。详情请洽北加州总代理优唱国际，11866-988-2679 11866-988-2679。
各位湾区的观众朋友，大家好，我是 Frank Ho。 财智生活杂志是一个综合性的理财节目，湾区的生活大小事，举凡经济、工作、赚钱、科技，我们节目都将为您 cover。每周四晚上8点，请不要错过 TVHS 红星卫视1.9台《财智生活杂志》。
回到《命运真奇妙》的节目，我们现在要跟 Steven 再多谈一谈这个风水的摆饰哦。Okay, now I want to talk about office. You know, a lot of people are working. So, is there anything we have to really pay attention when we are in the office, especially to create the harmony of the office environment?
Yes, the sitting position in the office is perhaps the most important thing to affect your success and your level of personal influence over others. Typically, when there's an open floor plan or many people working in the same office with partitions, the person sitting closest to the front door typically has the least power influence over others.
Okay.
And the person sitting in the furthest back part of the office has the most power. And in general, if people have cubicles or private offices, it's best to sit so that there's a solid wall behind you and not a window or the entry door to your office. That's one of the most important things to consider. So regardless of what directions are important for you, based upon your birth year and your astrology, having a solid wall behind you is the most important thing. Now, for a conference room, the person who sits with a solid wall behind them, furthest from the door, is considered to have the commanding position and have more influence over other people, regardless of their status in the company, the seniority, the hierarchy of the company.
Wow,
So this is very, very important. So if you want to have an advantage over somebody that you're interviewing, you sit with a solid wall behind you, and you have them sit with a door or a window behind them, and then you have some kind of energetic advantage over them.
So if you are going for an interview and you can choose a seat in the conference room, make sure to choose that seat. So you most probably people will think whatever you say makes so much sense.
Yes, and also for troublesome people, if you seat them in a position which weakens them energetically, close to a door or window, no matter how powerful they are officially, as far as the management of the company, you'll have greater influence over them during the meeting. So there are many cases of dissension between a CEO and the other senior executives in the company, subversion, rebellion, lack of cooperation, disrespect. And when they change the seating position during meetings, then the CEO was able to exert greater control over these wayward employees. Just that one thing was enough to really change the quality of management for an entire company.
Wow, so we never know. Now we have the secret, so whoever is watching this show, you know where to sit next time when you are in the meeting. Okay, so now the last topic I want to talk about, is, it's related to feng shui, but I know when you do this feng shui consultation, you probably go to some house and you feel this house probably has some spirit or what we say ghost inside. So how do we know that if our house actually has some negative energy or some spirits, entities there?
Well, there is Yang Feng Shui, working with outer conditions, and there's Yin Feng Shui, working with the selection of burial sites for our family members and for our ancestors, and working with spirits and ghosts and disincarnate entities. So the Qingmeg School of Feng Shui specializes in this Yin version of Feng Shui, working with ghosts, with spirits, and with the earth energies as well. So most people can feel the presence of spirits. In fact, if you go to a church, a temple, a hospital, where people are sick or dying, or where there are prayers offered for these sick people or dying people, there are a lot more spirits there. So it's really important to choose a place to live at least a quarter mile away from a hospital, a cemetery, a church, a temple, or anywhere where there's a prayer being offered. So using special tools and techniques, we can invite the spirits to leave and not come back.
So we can intentionally just tell them, please leave, something like that?
Well, you have to have enough spiritual authority and power. Your spiritual ranking has to be high enough so that the spirits obey you. Because if you're an ordinary person and the spirit is higher ranking than you, they have more energy, more power, more knowledge, more abilities, they aren't going to listen to you.
So is there any tools, like for example, like I use like a sage to smudge the house? Is there any like other tools we can use to at least clear our space?
Well, when you're moving into a room or a building for the first time, you can sprinkle rock salt against the wall on the floor, leave it overnight or for several days, and then later, after a few days, vacuum everything up. And this rock salt will actually absorb the negative vibrations from the previous tenants and from the carpeting and from the wall.
Oh, okay. So even though we already live in the house for a while, but we can still use it to use the rock salt?
You can do it periodically because energies always accumulate regardless of who's living there.
Yeah, that's very useful.
So sage and incense, playing music, ringing bells, singing bowls all help. But there are other techniques which are even more powerful. So the invocation of higher spiritual beings and the channeling of more powerful spiritual energies are much faster and more thorough than your traditional techniques.
Okay, so for most of the people, just in case they are not ready for a feng shui consultation, is there any conclusion you can teach us, how to do it ourselves, to have a better feng shui?
Well, first of all, clean the house or the room.
Yeah.
You can burn some incense, offer some prayers, because that will invoke higher level benign spirits that are friendly and helpful. You can light a candle or an oil lamp or a butter lamp. This is another way to invoke spirits. You can ask for the protection of your spirit guides, your guardian angels, your spiritual masters, to the Buddha, whatever you believe in. And also you can play some recorded chanting by monks or nuns or scriptural chanting, and all these things will create a very powerful spiritual energy field which will support your intention to clear the space and to replace it with higher level energies.
Thank you, and I really appreciate you coming to my show today. We really learned a lot today. 哇，我们今天真的非常谢谢 Stephen， 他在我们的节目当中为我们介绍非常多不一样的这个风水的知识哦。我想今天观众一定觉得这个受益匪浅呢。那如果今天大家对我们的节目有任何的意见的话，欢迎写信给我 Clara@tvhusa.com。最重要的是不要忘记下周六晚上9点同一时间锁定我们红星卫视1.9台，让我们相遇在命运真奇妙。我们下周见喽！各位观众，大家好，我是克拉拉。今天我要告诉大家，守护你的天使们有没有什么悄悄话要告诉不同星座的朋友哦？本位星座包括了摩羯、天秤、牡羊跟巨蟹座。摩羯座的朋友，大天使乌列尔要提醒你，若是你有想要实践的计划，本周是采取行动的最好时机哦。天秤座的朋友，你感觉快要被琐事压得喘不过气来了吗？大天使拉斐尔提醒你要多深呼吸，让足够的纯净氧气帮助你恢复内在的平静。牡羊座的朋友，经济上正经历困难的你，大天使雅列尔承诺，只要你听从内心的召唤，就能因梦想获得金钱的回报哦。巨蟹座的朋友，大天使拉贵尔在本周承诺你，那些你担心的事，宇宙自然有它运作方式，一一帮你解决。固定星座有金牛、狮子、天蝎跟水瓶座。金牛座的朋友，你感觉运势还没有开展吗？大天使约菲尔要提醒你，家中的杂物需要清理和丢弃，才能迎接更好的运气哦。狮子座的朋友，你的感情始终遇不到对的人吗？大天使夏米尔正在帮助你建立深刻的灵魂伴侣关系哦。天蝎座的朋友，最近你的心中似乎产生了一些无力感，请把你的心交给大天使汉尼尔，因为他将会协助你重新燃起对生命与爱的热情。水瓶座的朋友，大天使萨基尔在本周将会帮助你打开封闭的心，接受身边和你意见不同的人的想法哦。变动星座的有双子、处女、射手跟双鱼座。双子座的朋友，本周大天使拉吉尔将会帮助你更加相信自己，知道自己有足够的能力实现心中所有的心愿。处女座的朋友，在生命感觉困顿的时候，本周大天使拉吉尔将会协助你增加心灵能力，找回来自内心深处的喜悦。射手座的朋友，手边总有处理不完的事，本周大天使麦德群将会帮助你厘清思绪，更能有效率地向前迈进。双鱼座的朋友，最近你的心灵特别容易感觉脆弱，大天使 Michael 承诺将会保护你和身边的人不受到他人负面能量的影响。
您现在收看的是北美红星卫视 TVHS 1.9台。